I was blessed to be mayor from 2001 to 2010, during a period of time when that renaissance came into full force. And we saw such great things in our community happen, in our neighborhoods. We set out to develop the first green city designated in the state of Florida, with environmental programs and energy programs. And we achieved that. St. Pete became the first designated green city. We decided we wanted bike paths. We had been named the top mean street in the country for bicycle and pedestrian transportation, but we decided we were going to change that. And we invested $20–30 million of other people's money, by the way. We got state and federal grants to come in and build with the goal of building the largest bike path system in the southeast United States. And now St. Petersburg is a top 10 bicycle city in America. We set out to build a playground within a 1.5 mile walk of every child in the city. We got 85% there before we left office because, yeah, somebody's crying. There must be a mom up there. Every time I say that to a crowd, I can tell the moms in the crowd, yeah. Because I think it's different if you can walk to your playground and get to know your neighbors and get to know the families in your neighborhood. And you feel somehow better about it if you don't have to get in your car when you do it. So we did that. We built the bicycle paths, and we built rec centers and libraries all over the city. And we worked with the neighborhood leaders. We didn't tell them what to do. We went and asked them what they thought should be done. We have 100 neighborhood associations in our city. We developed neighborhood plans. Neighborhoods are the core to your city, right? They're the core to your city. And so we established a deputy mayor for neighborhoods because I thought it was important. And we went out there and we worked hard to make our neighborhoods better. We worked in our neighborhoods. We worked in our schools. You know, when I ran for office, the first time people said, schools aren't part of the mayor's job, but we made it part of the mayor's job. Why do you make it part of the mayor's job? Because, yeah, if your schools aren't prospering, right? Well, first of all, it's the right thing to do. You want your kids to have hope. You want your kids to have a chance, right? So you want them to learn while they're in school. So if schools aren't prospering, then it's hard for them to do that. But it's also hard to get people to move into your neighborhoods, because who wants to move in a neighborhood if their kids are not going to go to a good school? And who wants to bring their business or keep their business in St. Petersburg if you don't have great schools for the people that are working there? Because they're going to get their workers out of our schools, and their workers' kids are going to go to our schools. So I hear from businesses all the time, schools are important, and we made them important. We had incredible programs, some of the most aggressive, positive public school support programs around. Whether it's 1,000 doorway college scholarships that we raise private money for to send kids on free and reduced lunches to college, or whether it's supporting principals or supporting teachers with housing loans, or whether it's getting corporate partners for every school in the city. Schools, when I was in office, schools knew that the city was their full partner. They knew it. And by the way, they progressed. And they didn't progress because of me. They progressed because we have great teachers and administrators and parents working and kids working to improve their grades. And our elementary schools, we went having 0 A elementary schools when we started to 16 out of 27 A elementary schools when we finished. And we were on a lift in our schools. Schools are important, and we felt they were important. We worked with our police officers and our police department to make this a safer city. We got our police strength up to full strength for one of the first times ever when we were in office. And that was not an easy thing to do, but we did it. And we worked. We created a street crimes unit to work to get the drugs off of our streets. We substantially increased the number of drug arrests in the city of St. Pete to try to get the drugs off the street. And our violent crime rates went down. And our murder rate went down by the time we left office to the lowest I think it was ever recorded in the current UCR records. Public safety is the #1 job of the city. I get that, and we worked at it, including working with our fire department, including working with Homeland Security when we had 9/11 back then. It was a tough time. We created a Homeland Security. We worked in public safety. Public safety we knew was important. And economic development, jobs are very important. Very important. And so we worked all over to bring jobs into the community. We worked in our downtown, our midtown, throughout the community. And our downtown just became the coolest downtown ever, right? We brought business in. Duke came in. Stanford Research Institute came out. We brought a St. Pete College campus into downtown. And in early on in my years, I declared St. Petersburg to be the cultural center of Florida. And that's something I like to do. I lie until it becomes true, you know? And then we worked out to make it there, right? We brought the Dali into the Kora downtown. We brought the Chihuly into we got the Florida Orchestra to move their headquarters downtown. American Stage got a new headquarters in partnership with Carl Cutler and the great things he was doing at St. Pete College at the time. And we created an entire warehouse art district where art right. And I get it because actually my wife's got all the art taste in my family. I try. But the reality is I get it from the perspective of quality of life, that art is important, and I get it from the perspective of economic development, because it has now become one of the top generators and engines of our economy, and we should support the arts and art community. We did do that. And Midtown, we worked in Midtown. As Representative Newton said, we worked in Midtown. And by the way, nobody had to escort me through Midtown, right? Nobody had to go with me when I went to Midtown. The folks that went with me when I went to Midtown were my wife and my children when we went into Midtown, into the neighborhoods and into the events that they had in that part of the community, because we cared, because we understood it, because we had a heart for it, right? You first have to want to do it. Whatever you do, you first have to care, and you first have to love it. Oh yeah, we got a grocery store and we got a bank. By the way, never in history did they have it. And we got a clinic, the new clinic at the old Mercy Hospital. And we got a Job Corps site. We brought a St. Pete College campus in. We rebuilt Wildwood. We did all of these things. A new library in the Midtown community. We did all of those things. And it's easy to rattle them off. Each one, I promise you, is very, very, very hard, right? We did those things though because it's important, because our city should be seamless. It should be seamless. And the reason all this succeeded, that these mayors, these council members, and these army of community leaders, the reason they succeeded is two things. One is we love our city, right? We love our city. We you know, people, a lot of people, there may be one or two people that don't like me. I understand that. But nobody doubts that I love St. Petersburg. Nobody doubts that I love St. Petersburg. Nobody doubts that I will fight anybody in the media, anywhere, for St. Petersburg, because I care deeply about our city, and I'm always going to do what I think is best for the city. And that's the way these mayors have been, and that's the way these council members have been, and that's the way this army is. They love our city. That's one of the reasons we succeeded. The other reason we succeeded was because we were together, right? We were together. You know, in Washington nowadays, everything is divide. Everything, right? It's if I can just take this group and hate this group, or I can love this group and hate this group, as long as I can get to 51%, I'm good, right? That's the way it is nowadays. That's not the way it is in St. Petersburg. That's the way it should not be in St. Petersburg. We should work together with everybody. The whole concept of seamless is not just a neighborhood, but it's also an idea. It's an idea that we're in it together, wherever you are. And that's why we succeeded. And so St. Petersburg was on a trajectory, right? It was on a trajectory. We even weathered, Mayor Foster had to weather some hard years in the national economy, right? But we were still moving up. As he was leaving office in a great recession, we had buildings going up downtown at the time because we weathered the storm. Because we looked at when we needed to, when we had good times, we lowered tax rates and we quadrupled our emergency reserves and we put the money away, and then we had prudent leadership to get us through the tough times, right? That all changed 3.5 years ago. Right. We now have leadership that is insulated. And you in the media know that. Who can name Rick Baker's spokesman when he was mayor, right? Rick Baker never had a spokesman when he was mayor. Maybe because I didn't have an extra $125,000 to throw away. Rick Baker's emissary throughout the community that went to the neighborhood groups and the picnics and all that stuff. Who can name that person that Rick Baker sent out to the community to deal with the issues of the community, listen to the people. There wasn't. I was the insert. I was so we've developed this insulate. Who can name Rick Baker's chief of staff?
Boy.
Okay, besides Joyce. Who can name his paid chief of staff? You know, we have a chief of staff now that I think a lot of people wonder who's running the city sometimes, right? A lot of people wonder that. Did anybody wonder who was running the city when I was mayor of the city?
No.
You know, it's an insulated administration. And it's also one that is seeking to divide us. And there's no better example than the recent case. We have some